Hey, Dan here, and this video is for you if you're, how do I say this nicely? Sometimes an asshole to yourself. I'm serious though, so many of us, especially us idealists, whether you're an INFJ, INFP, or ENFP, so many of us are really hard on ourselves, and it is not serving us most of the time, and I'm gonna get to that a bit later. Because ultimately, when we're beating ourselves up, when we're hard on ourselves, it puts us in a state of mind where we're very unlikely to be making intelligent decisions, to be productive, to be creative, or to do anything else that will really get us towards that thing that we probably wanted to get to but aren't there yet, hence why we're beating ourselves up so much. And I think this can be especially tough for idealists because we tend to put things inward, right? A lot of people, if they're having a bad day or if something doesn't really go well for them, they tend to blame other people, right? They externalize, it's that person's fault, it's the economy, it's this. And that actually might be a way to feel happier in the moment. Now, it's a terrible recipe for life. Blaming other people for your problems is the key to having a shitty life because you're not going to make the changes and improve yourself. But taking everything on ourselves and thinking like, oh, whatever happens, it's completely my fault, isn't always a better strategy either. Because let's be real, a lot of things are beyond our control, or at least beyond our control in the short term. I'm just listening to a book right now on the gut, Dan the biologist wannabe here. And there is so much new science on the relationship between our gut and our mind, whether it's influencing our mood, our happiness, our ability probably to even make decisions. And that's based on what we're eating and our gut bacteria and things that are probably even coming from our childhood in terms of our immune system and gut flora and all this sort of stuff. Now, in the short term, maybe you're having a really unproductive day and you might start to beat yourself up over that and think, I'm such an idiot, I'm doing this again, or I'm not following through on my commitments, or I keep changing direction. And maybe it's because you've got some weird bacteria that's messing up your whole system. Maybe it's because there's been some massive shift in the weather, it's been cloudy for 2 weeks, and you live in a place like Vancouver or Ireland where you literally won't see the sun for a week or two, and it becomes really hard to be effective sometimes under those circumstances. Now, am I making an excuse for everyone saying like, don't put in effort, don't try, just give yourself a write-off? Absolutely not. So here's the thing. Big picture, over your entire year, let's take a year of your life. You should find these things that hang you up. So let's say you find that one day a week, you end up in a really you have brain fog, or you're not thinking right, or you're in a bad mood and not getting things done. You need to address that. Maybe you need to change your diet, your exercise, maybe see a psychologist, see some other kind of doctor. You need to address that because overall that is going to set you back huge if one day a week you're totally off, right? But in the moment when that happens, beating yourself up over it and making yourself feel worse is going to actually make the problem worse. And in many cases, even though you think in theory, feeling bad about something will lead you to change it, a lot of people, what they end up doing is they feel really bad and they wallow in that self-pity and then all right, the next day I'll start over. It doesn't come around to, I feel bad, now I'm angry, I feel bad, and now I'm going to take action and now I'm going to make a change, right? So instead of really beating yourself up and feeling crummy if something isn't going right for you, step back and say, hey, maybe this isn't within my control. Maybe it's not going to serve me best. And the research says that when we're in a happy state, when we're feeling more positive, we tend to be more creative problem solvers and we tend to be better at getting things done. So maybe, and you can say this whole thing to yourself, it'll be a long self-mantra thing here, right? Maybe I should focus on a solution to this. So either schedule something, say, hey, this weekend I'm gonna go to the library or the bookstore or wherever kids buy books these days, I guess Amazon, some kind of online store. I'm really dating myself with the library references here, I now realize. Get some books on that subject, right? If you've been dealing with a lot of brain fog, maybe start to read up on it. Maybe look for some ways to solve these problems. So schedule in some time to resolve those big picture problems, to work on that. But then in the moment, let's say it's 2 p.m. and you've been having a really crummy day, you're really off your game, try forgiving yourself and just hitting reset on the day, saying, hey, that morning sucked. 2, let's shake it off and do what I can to make the most of this day. If you're like a lot of people I talk to, you're trying to accomplish a lot. You have a lot of stressors on your plate, and you probably have a lot of unknowns as well, maybe in terms of your future direction or all these open-ended decisions you need to make, these different people in your life that you're caring about. There could be a ton going on, and ultimately, you're going to serve everyone better by being your best self and not being so hard on yourself and giving yourself permission. Like sometimes we have days where just nothing is going to get done. Maybe it's the alignment of Mars and Mercury and whatever else. Maybe it's that you got drunk the night before. Maybe it's that you have a poor diet right now. Or maybe it's because the in-laws are coming into town and you're terrified and your unconscious is dreading that. Whatever it is, we all have these types of days, and you're going to be a lot better served by accepting that, maybe giving yourself time to step back. If you do feel like you've been taking on too much, maybe you're too stressed, give yourself a day off to recharge and get back at it. If you're finding that your tool, your mind, your ability to focus and follow through isn't working at the level you'd like it to, step back and look at some type of self-care. Look at the sleep you're getting, look at what you're eating, look at your exercise. And I can tell you, if you take some time and you treat yourself well and you focus on that, that ultimately during the rest of your time, you're going to end up feeling a lot better and getting a lot more done. So it's going to work out a lot better for you. If you find your mental machine is not living up to your standards, is not able to deliver, it might be worth stepping back and investing in some more self-care in terms of better sleep, taking a bit more time off, maybe taking weekends off if you're not already doing that. And of course, diet and exercise as well as things that just make you feel good. Watch an inspiring movie, do something like this. This is going to put you in a much better state and provide you with a lot more internal resources to deliver, to manage your mood, and to ultimately feel better, and then take the actions that will lead to reaching some of your bigger goals, which again, what does that do? Ultimately, it leads us to feel a lot better as well. And of course, part of self-care is how we talk to ourselves. So if you're beating yourself up, if you're being really negative, you're ultimately not serving yourself in the end as well. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below, is there one thing you'd like to start doing as part of self-care, as part of really treating yourself well, that you are now going to start doing? Let me know that below in the comments, and I will catch you in the next video soon. Ciao. It's like so hot in here. I'm dying.